So it's been a few days and the dust has settled ever since Eurogamer released that quote-unquote leak about the Nintendo NX, saying that it's going to be a portable hybrid console with detachable controllers and an NVIDIA Tegra chip. Now, this rumor is pretty plausible and it could happen, but there's actually quite a few things pointing to the fact that this wouldn't happen, and I'm going to go over those right now, and then, you guys can kind of form your own opinions from that. Ever since the NX was first mentioned by Iwata back in 2015, Nintendo has gone on record saying multiple times that this system is going to be a brand new concept, it's going to be revolutionary, never been done before, and they also just said that they didn't show off the system at E3 because they want to avoid the other companies copying their secrets. This would imply that the NX is going to be something that truly hasn't been seen before in a game system. Now, why would this be a factor in debunking the Eurogamer rumor? Well, it's the fact that this has pretty much already been done. I want to introduce you to the Razer Edge Pro. The Razer Edge Pro is a high-powered Windows tablet geared towards PC gamers that includes super powerful hardware, detachable controllers, and even a dock to connect it to a monitor or a TV. I mean, look at the controllers on the side. Other than their fairly PlayStation Move-like look to them, this almost looks exactly like the leaked mock-ups, or whatever you want to call them, for the Eurogamer leaks. And here's the kicker. This tablet was a humongous failure and did not do very well on the market. I mean, the fact that the Razer Edge Pro is a market failure isn't really a huge problem for Nintendo, as they could easily take that same concept and make it into something more affordable, more marketable, more convenient, and actually be successful with it. But that's not really the problem here. Remember, I just said that the Nintendo NX is supposed to be a brand new concept that's never been done before, to the point where Nintendo didn't show it at E3 to quote-unquote keep competitors from copying their secrets. If this has already been done before, then what kind of secrets would they be keeping? This is almost identical to the stuff that we saw in the Eurogamer rumor, all the way down to the superpowered hardware and the detachable controllers on the side, to even the TV dock to plug it into your TV. So that's just one problem with the Eurogamer rumor. The next problem is that Nvidia has absolutely zero custom design wins for anything, at least nothing that's gone public. Now, why would this be something that needs to be public? Well, think about it. If they're guaranteed to build millions and millions of units to ship for a game console, that's a lot of expected revenue and an unprecedented partnership with another company. That's something that the investors want to know, and that's always something that's talked about ahead of time. Remember in my previous video I just uploaded last night saying how AMD was, all their hardware was accounted for? They said that they were releasing 3 new devices. Well, that was basically it right there. I mentioned the consoles already. They talked about those because they wanted investors to know, hey, we have some guaranteed hardware coming up that we're going to be shipping lots of units of. Even if there's no custom design win and the Nintendo NX is just using a straight-up Tegra X1 or X2, Nvidia would still be saying to investors that they have some guaranteed large shipments of their Tegra chip going out to Nintendo as a partnership, or at least to somebody as a partnership, because that's something that would pretty much guarantee stocks to go higher, as Nvidia is a publicly traded company. And the final nail in this theoretical coffin is that Eurogamer has done this before. Back in November 2009, they published an article on their own website called In Theory, Nintendo DS2 vs. Sony PSP2, where they were talking about how they had a lot of reliable sources that were telling them that the new Nintendo DS system that was coming out was going to use, guess what, an NVIDIA Tegra chip. In fact, it was the Tegra 2 chipset that they were talking about. And they were talking the whole time in a pretty confident way, saying that they were absolutely sure and that their sources were totally trustworthy that this system was going to be using a Tegra 2 chip. That definitely wasn't the case when the 3DS was released. I would have been pretty happy with the Tegra 2 chip. That would have given the 3DS much better visuals, but that's not what Nintendo did. They pulled a DS and used some older hardware and did a completely different, type of device. Who's to say that Eurogamer isn't just doing this again, where they have some sources that may be working with certain companies, but it actually doesn't mean anything, or they could just be making an article to generate clicks. Who knows? I mean, everything I just said here could be totally wrong, and the system could be using the Tegra X2, and that would be pretty cool. I mean, I already talked about it in some previous videos about how it would work, but for people right now who are treating this like a fact and using it to win arguments, for example, Dr. Trey81 handing out seats like he usually tries to do, just sit and wait for Nintendo to actually say something before you try to make arguments based on rumors, let alone damage controlling stuff.